bathroom.
That's my stall. Did you see the placard on the
Yes, I know, but somebody was using the other one, so I...
Well, then you wait.
I couldn't wait. It was an emergency. I had to go.
There's one stall for me, and you're in it.
You know, if you were here, I would have given you first dibs. But honestly, I haven't seen a handicapped person in the bathroom, maybe ever. So I thought I could perhaps take my chances.
A handicapped person. That's nice. Oh, that's nice. It's called disabled.
Disabled?
Disabled.
Well, that doesn't sound so hot.
I don't really care what it sounds like to you, okay? It's disabled.
I think I would prefer a handicap.
God, do you know how archaic that word's handicapped person? That's like demeaning, don't you know? I'm a disabled person.
Sorry.
You're sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Now you've learned a lesson. Please, don't ever go in my stall again, all right?
Fine. Okay.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Douchebag.
Okay, today we have one of the most real, down-to-earth, and talented actors that I know. And I'm just going to go into it. My friend, Michael D'Amore.
Hello, folks.
Hello, folks. How are you, mister?
I am well, thank you, given the givens.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time, isn't it?
Crazy. Yeah.
Somebody said at the beginning of all of this stuff that it was all a hoax and it was just going to go away with a little warmth, and that hasn't happened. And I'm very disappointed because this gentleman usually steers us right.
All right. I have to tell you something.
Tell me.
I miss hanging out with you.
I know, Dave. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a really long time.
It has been. I love that, you know, when we would like meet up for lunch or we'd hang out with Blair and Susie.
Yeah.
Blair Williamson and Susie Shallard.
Yeah. You know what I'm doing with Blair these days?
What?
We're Blair's still doing his Saturday morning class, but he's Zooming. And so I've been participating, not consistently, but fairly consistently, and it's fun. It's a group of about eight or so students, and Mary and Jerry, and sometimes myself. It's so I get to see Blair. Blair is Blair. Blair is classic Blair.
Oh, that's very nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
but getting back to what you said, yeah, it was nice. It was nice being together.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I Zoom with him once. I think I've done it 3 times. So maybe, once a month. And talk about you.
What about me?
Now, you were born and raised in Milwaukee.
And that's where I am right now. I am outside of Milwaukee. And yeah, I'm a Wisconsin boy through and through. Still.
What is it about Wisconsin and Milwaukee that you love so much?
You know, that's a good question because if I'm being honest, Wisconsin's probably no better than any other place. I think the people here are nice. I take that back. I mean, there's good, like sort of good Midwestern values that I like and appreciate. I think more than anything, it's just the fact that I was raised here. I'm familiar with my surroundings, and my family's here. Right. If I didn't have family in Wisconsin, you know, I don't know, I'd probably stick around for a while. But I mean, there are lots of nice places in the world, but I'm just familiar and very comfortable with it here. And
right.
And so you know, we were talking earlier about COVID. When things started to fall apart in the very early days, we didn't know that it was going to devolve into this crap, but we knew it was possibly going to get bad. And I said, you know, I'm just going to go home. Better to be here, which is first of all a nicer physical place, but not be alone, you know, in my apartment in California. So
right.
Better to be home. So that's.
Well, that's so interesting. You're saying that because I so want to be with my mom, with my brother, and then also with my uncle, because I love my family is so important to me. Yeah. And I mean, I always talk about my other, you know, my extended family, who I'm so blessed at that I have that.
Right.
But talking about the blood family, it's nice, you know, I could Zoom them and this and that, but it's not the same, you know? No,
it's not the same. And there's there's a bond there that just, maybe I shouldn't speak for other people, but it seems to me there's bond for most people a familial bond that is unbreakable. You know, it's very special.
Yeah.
You can have extended family, like you mentioned, and I know that you have a lot of people around you that you love very much like family, but it is different. It is just different.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're there. And you're the youngest of four?
Mm-hmm.
And are they all there too?
Yes, with the exception of my brother Dave, who lives in Costa Rica, and he was here for a while. He's got some stuff going on down in Costa Rica, and they were shut off. They closed their borders, and they flattened the curve very early because they took it seriously. Anyway, there was a single flight that was going down, and long story short, he was able to get on it, and so he went back down to Costa Rica about a month and a half ago, something like that. And he's been there for a while. Yeah, they were very smart about it, and they people took it seriously, and it's still around, but not like it is here.
Right. Yeah. So, what was the first play that you ever did? What was that first moment you said, I want to be an actor?
Well, being the youngest of four and always having the attention, on me it was very important because I was that kid, that obnoxious little bastard. I remember doing plays in elementary school and kind of loving it. And but again, growing up in Wisconsin, I never really thought about doing it seriously. I was in a play in my senior year. It wasn't even a play; it was the Senior Follies. And,
yeah.
And I did it because it was kind of the thing to do, and you could, I can't sing. I've said many times I can walk better than I can sing. So I'm just not. I never thought about actually being in a play because I cannot sing for the life of me. But this was Senior Follies, and it was kind of like everybody was involved, and I did it, and I got a couple of roles on it, and I really loved it. But again, the thought of really being an actor just wasn't a real thought because it's Milwaukee. And I just thought, well, you don't become an actor in Milwaukee. So.
But then you moved.
And then I moved, and then it was
an actor.
and then like I said, it was always kind of intriguing. Not just being an actor, but being in the industry in any capacity. But of course, being an actor was the thought was exciting to me and interesting. And the thought was really at this point now when I'm in California now, by this point I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm thinking, well, what's the worst that can happen? They can say no, and it's not going to be terribly humiliated. So I'll give it a try.
When did you? I mean, you were going to school.
Yeah.
And then that's when you got into the wheelchair? Or?
Well, no. I was in college after my second year of college, between sophomore and junior year of college. I broke my neck in Wisconsin diving into the water off of our pier. And then I finished up school down in Florida. And then after Florida, I went to California. But in the meantime, right after my accident, right after I got out of rehab, I came out to California.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, Westwood, for some rehab. And so I spent 6 months, something like that, in California, became very familiar with Los Angeles and loved it. And I wanted to come back, ended up coming back. And I've been sort of a quasi-permanent resident ever since 1988.
Now, what was it about California that had that, I got to be there instead of Milwaukee?
It was everything. It was new. It was interesting. There were movies being made. It was kind of exotic. The things happen in LA that don't happen in other parts of the world. And I loved the weather, of course. I loved kind of the excitement of the speed of life that goes on there. People say everything's easy in LA, and it's not. It's not slow and laid back. It's not. It's kind of exciting at all times, and and kind of not so nice sometimes. But it's a different life. It's a different life. So so I was intrigued by that, and keep in mind I was much younger then as well, and so I just kind of was drawn into it.
Now, had you studied it in college? Is that what you were?
No,
What was your focus in college?
biology. I've got a degree in natural science. Yeah,
So you could have been a doctor.
I wanted to be a doctor. I still wanted. It's still one of my biggest regrets that I didn't go to med school. I look back on it, and the thing is, being a doctor and going to med school in particular is such a drain.
Yeah.
It is so physically demanding and mentally demanding as well, of course. And I thought, well, I'm in this chair now. I don't think I can do it. And I just kind of, I went through the motions and sort of, I got my degree and didn't worry about my grades, and I just kind of did my thing and kind of gave up on the idea. And part of me understands it still, because it would have been difficult. And I don't know if I had it in me to do it. Another part of me says, biology and medicine is something that's very intriguing to me. And like anything else, if you like something, if you're interested in something, you'll excel.
Yeah.
So I do regret not going forward, or at least not trying to go forward. But anyway, yeah. So I got my degree in natural science from Florida. Getting back to it, I had been out in California for some rehab right after my accident. So I was familiar with the city and with the state, and just came back.
Well, when you got here, you got into, I mean, it's the CBS school break special, Parenthood, Melrose Place, Anger Management, Curb Your Enthusiasm, And you recurred on several of those.
Well, sort of, yeah. I got lucky. I got lucky. That's what it is, And I'm the most unlucky person you'll ever meet. I mean, if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen to me.
Oh
I got lucky a couple of times.
But after listening all those, not many people can say that they've been on all those.
Yeah.
I love how you're that's why you're so amazing as a person, and how it comes in.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I mean, because you're not like, hey, look at me. You have this realness about you, this, like I said, and the thing is, it goes into your acting.
David, I'm on camera right now. I'm being falsely modest. You know me personally. You think I'm an asshole in real life.
I think you're a big asshole. No, I don't.
Wait a minute. How many other people have sworn on your webcam?
Go watch Dee Wallace's.
Oh, really? I would have never expected that from her. She seems like all-American Ms. Apple Pie.
She is, and with a spice to it, and she's amazing and wonderful, and
arsenic in.
And she swears too.
And she what? Oh, she swears
too. Well, so when you need to swear, you use it, and then you could use that. And this is the lesson for today, everyone. You can use that swear, and you could put it into "I love you." Underneath, I thought of something else, and of course, I wasn't talking to you. With that, I would say to you, "I love you, Michael."
I know you would.
Yeah. Right
back at you. Interesting story on that. When I got curbed, they had a particular address that was in, and this is pre MapQuest. They had a particular address that was in Koreatown.
Oh, and that was the book. What's that book we?
Yes, Thomas Guide book. Yes, Thomas Guide days. Probably the beginning. Yeah, probably the beginnings of MapQuest. But Mr. Thomas Guide, because I just got rid of my Thomas Guide like last week. Anyway, so I went to this place, and Curb's offices were in Santa Monica, and so I went to this place in Koreatown, and as is always the case, I was barely on time. I was going to be late, but I made it to Koreatown. I got out, went to the office, and people are like, well, what are you talking about? I said, I've got an audition, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And the woman said to me, you are one of so many. It's not here. It's blah, blah, blah. And I had to go to Santa Monica. So now I got to go all the way across town to get there on time. Well, the audition required anger. And I was by the time I got to the office, I was seething. And I had just had to cuss and let loose. And it was so easy because by the time I got there, I was so filled with rage. And so getting back to your point, yeah, sometimes it helps, and sometimes you just use it, man.
Well, that's what our dear friend Corey Allen would say.
Yeah.
You just, where are you? You're here, so use where you're at. And of course, all the other stuff, but don't disregard where you're at.
Yeah. Boy, I wish he was around.
What?
I wish he was around to still give me a further lesson.
He's around in certain ways.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk. I talk to him sometimes. He doesn't talk back to me.
Do you? Does
sometimes.
he?
Yeah.
I know that sometimes I'm there and I feel him and like, oh, okay, you're here. Or especially when I'm with Jerry Jewel, we're like, oh, Corey's here.
Apparently she had a relationship with him. I didn't know that.
A friendship, yeah.
Really, I didn't know that.
They didn't date.
No. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, but a relationship.
Oh yeah. In fact, we did the after Corey's house burned down, we were doing a Christmas Carol at the time, and we gave his Emmy Award had melted, so I went, got a new Emmy Award, and we presented it to him on the stage, and Jerry was there next to me, and so and it was such a wonderful group that
wow.
And Blair took one of my favorite pictures of all time with all of us standing there presenting the award to him with Lucy Hagen, and it was a great cast.
Yeah, nice. That doesn't surprise me. Blair's an amazing photographer, isn't he?
Oh, seriously. What?
It's crazy good.
It's crazy good. And I told him that once we all get out of quarantine and have the vaccine, he needs to go. One of the first things he needs to do is go to a venue and hang his pictures up and have a big showing.
Yeah.
Hey, you flew planes? Did you used to fly planes?
Yeah. Where did I tell you that? How did you? I forgot. I forgot you knew me. I'm going. Wow, he's getting me all these. He's getting all of these details. Where the hell did he get that? Yes.
Hi, I'm Barbara Walters.
You're gonna have me crying before the end of this. Oh my God, I don't normally talk about this, but yeah. It all started when I was a child. Oh.
Oh, I still am a child.
Yeah, me too.
So
my child was getting older by the day. Speaking of me, not you.
My God, no, listen. But no, you flew planes. When did this come about?
I was always fascinated with flight. Even from the time I was a little kid, I still am. Every time I hear a plane go overhead, I have to watch it. It's just it's beauty. It's a beautiful thing. It's beauty. It's like grace just to see a plane flying through the air. I'm fascinated by it. And so when I was at the end of my freshman year of college, I went to a local airport and started taking lessons. And I got really lucky because my college, somehow we had an aviation class. It was flight school, and I took my flight school in college and got credit for it. And I did that all before I started flying, so that was helpful as well. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't, because flying is very impractical. It's very expensive.
Uh,
And most people don't stay with it, and it's understandable because, you know, if you think about it, unless you're flying to a place like a corporate pilot or something like that, you know, you have to leave your car at the airport, you get in a plane, you fly to plane, you know, from A to B, then you get to place B, and then you got to get some other form of transportation, ground transportation, to get you to where you're going to go. And then if you're renting the plane, you can't do that. I leased a plane, which is what most pilots do. And then if you own the plane, that's a whole different story. It's just a very expensive, impractical thing. But it was fun. I love knowing that I know how to fly a plane, even though I don't fly them anymore. Flew gliders a couple of times, which was that was pretty cool.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of cool that I did it, but it's in my past. And even if I were walking today, and not you don't necessarily need to be walking to fly a plane, but even if I had the time, hugely time consuming, and the money and all of that sort of stuff, I don't know that I'd be flying today. Plus, it's not the safest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just,
you. I mean, it seems like you really went after some on the edge kind of
that's what it
thing.
was. Well, it was something that I guess that I could say I'm actually kind of proud of that. It was something that I did go after that most people don't go after. But I thought it was an interesting thing. I thought it was an exciting thing. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Mm.
And I went out and did it. And it was not the normal thing to do, but it was, like I said before, like talking about medicine, if there's something you're interested in, you're going to pursue it. You know, you should at least.
Like writing a novel. Have you, am I doing good on my homework?
God, David, I talk too much. I talk way too much.
Well, tell me, what was the title of your novel?
The title of my novel is Mornings in England, and yes, I did write it.
You want to say anything more about it?
What would you like me to say?
Where does the title come from?
That's actually an interesting story. This is actually kind of interesting. The novel came from two things. Let's go back to Hollywood Boulevard, circa 1990, probably 90, 91, something like that. I'm living on Hollywood Boulevard, like just almost the corner of Hollywood and La Brea.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this movie on cable called Oxford Blues. Rob Lowe. He's this, you know, so there's a scene where he's on the river. I don't know if it's the River Thames. He's on some river, and they've got their shells out. They're not canoeing, rowing. You know, the college, they're rowing, and it's this beautiful morning, and it's like gray, and it's very English, and they're putting their boats in the water, and I'm watching this, and in my mind, I literally said, "Wow, Mornings in England," and I thought, wow, that's a great title. That's a great title. And I, for years and years and years, I kept that with me, thinking, there's a movie, there's this movie somewhere. It's a great title. Now couple that with this story idea that I had, that I wanted to write, and I kept thinking about it, and I thought, oh, I can turn Mornings in England into this story idea, but the story idea was much too big to be a screenplay.
Mm.
So at some point, I just, oh, you know what? I should write a novel. I've never done it before, and I'm not even a reader, which I'm kind of ashamed of. But I just thought, this is a novel, and I just started writing.
Wow.
And there you go. And I would also say the story idea that I had turned into something completely different.
Right.
So Mornings in England is not the original idea. I mean, there's seeds of it, but it is a different story.
It took you to a different place, and you went with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. It's like, look at all this stuff. It's like, it makes me want to write more, you know?
Well, you know what they say, writer's right.
Writer's right. And
I listen to myself.
My magic wand. Thank
Oh
you,
my God.
Janet Gallen.
There you go.
What brings you joy? Brings you joy. When I say joy, what do you think of?
Do you want the honest answer, David?
No, I want bullshit. No, yes.
Well, I shouldn't be saying this. I shouldn't be saying this because I'm being recorded. I'm kind of aware that I'm being recorded.
Well, say what you want.
I'm saying that in the state of the world today, I'm not seeing or feeling much joy.
Hmm.
What brings me joy? Joy, I'll tell you what brings joy is when I see people doing the right thing, when I'm doing the right thing, kindness,
Hmm.
care, concern, and that seems to be a dwindling quantity these days.
You know what's interesting is that when you said what does bring me joy is kindness. And when you said that, I felt an energy come through the screen. And that little mention of that is an energy that goes out there. So if more of us do more of the saying the kindness and doing it, then it will hopefully catch fire.
That would be nice. And I have to say, you know, after I just told you my tale of doom, I will say that I'm always grateful, and I see it fairly often. People people do little things for me and for others. It's the little. I'll tell you a story that happened recently.
Yeah.
I shop all the time for the household. I go out in the morning and do the stuff. And I had this big heavy thing of litter for the cat. Litter. It's this 40-pound thing, and I couldn't get it out of the cart. And I said when I was checking out through the auto checkout, I said to the woman, I said, do you think there's somebody that could put this in my trunk for me? And it was early in the morning, and she said, oh, well, no, you know what? Okay, just give me a second and I'll do it. And she was really hesitating because she was doing her job. And this woman behind me, this young 20, mid-20, late 20 woman says, I'll do it. And I turned around and I said, what? She said, no, I'll go out. I'm following you out. I mean, I'm checking out after you anyway. I'll follow you out, put it in, I'll come back. And this woman came out, put the litter in the trunk for me. And it was just such a simple thing, but it was so nice.
Mm.
It was so just generous and thoughtful and considerate. And it went a long way. It was such a simple act, but it went a long way. And this was some time ago, and it stayed with me. I mean, these are the things that we need to do.
Those are the beautiful things that, yeah, more of that. Come on, more.
Yeah.
What do you want the most at this moment in your life, as Corey Allen would say?
I would say good health for everybody. Yeah. That's what I like at this moment. How about you?
Oh my gosh. A kiss.
From?
I don't know. I was on Facebook the other day, and somebody said about, when this quarantine is over, and I says, I was at my dentist office the other day, and I was sitting in the waiting room, and all of a sudden I just blurted out, I says, when this is all over, the first person I see, I'm going to just run up to and kiss them.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's not a bad wish.
Yeah.
I can go for that.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get married.
Got somebody in mind?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
I'm single.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Well, we keep on chugging. We keep doing our thing. Oh, one last thing I had to say is I remember that time where we had the cast party for The Beautiful People, and you interviewed Corey Allen, and I love that.
I remember that. Yeah, that was great. Corey was in rare form that day, and he had some things to say. I remember that. Boy, Corey was a special guy. I mean, I just loved him so much, and my only regret is that I didn't know him sooner. I wish I had known him. It seems like I knew him a long time, but I probably only knew him a couple of years, 2 years, maybe 3 years. And I wish I had known him. I have such fond memories. Man, I would go up to his house, and we'd just sit out on the balcony. We'd eat a popsicle, or we'd have some lunch, and we would just talk. Yeah. We would just talk, and he had just wisdom and just funny stuff to say, and kind, nice things to say, and it was anything goes. We just talk, and it was nice. And God, I miss that, and I really loved him. I really loved him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. He was loved. So I look forward after quarantine, beside finding anybody on the street to kiss, to see you in another TV show or movie. I look forward to it.
Me too.
Look what's doing here. Aren't you supposed to be in here? It seems to me you're using the wrong toilet. Am I?
Somebody was in there. I had to use the normal one.
Really? First of all, we don't like to be referred to as normal, okay? We're able-bodied. Able-bodied, not normal. That's like from the 80s. Who doesn't know that?
I had to go to the bathroom. Somebody was in there.
Well, then you wait. You wait.
Women look beyond the body. To them, it's what's inside that counts. They're kind of funny like that, you know?
Yeah, I'd have said that too when I was you. When I walked into a room, women noticed. You know, the moment I broke my neck, I became Mr. Invisible. No, actually, I became pitiful. Because they still notice, but now they give me that smile. You know, aren't you so courageous? Look at you braving the public. Good for you. Do you know I saved 3 lives? Before my accident, I pulled a mom and her kids from its burning car. Like a minute later, it exploded. I'm a trained pilot. I ran my own successful gym. I faced death itself. Won. And yet every day I go out into public and I get that smile.
Hey, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know, people. Yeah. Look, people at the mall, people getting gas, right? We're all pretty much the same on the outside. We got 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, mouth, right? But inside, everyone's got a story.
This is coming from the dilettante.
Oh, really? Life is actually the one thing that I study in earnest. You know, the human condition is actually one thing that inspires my act. Of course, the supermodels and the money ain't bad either.
Hey! I'll call you back. What the hell are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? What the fuck? I'm trying to walk here. You're talking on a cell phone? You almost fucking killed me, you douchebag. You come right in front of me. You're talking on a cell phone? What, there's a law against talking on a cell phone? You no, you can't. Not while you're wheeling around and you almost hit my car. I'm just trying to get to my car. You learn how to drive that thing. Piss off, you douchebag. You fucking pussy. Piss off.